Hi friends, this is Deep Basu and welcome to my channel Think Deep. I'm back again and I'm going to review a brand new film. The name of the movie is I Am Thinking of Ending Things. Yes, this movie I guess had released on Netflix 6 days ago. And I've been hearing a lot about this film, and this movie has been directed by the one and only talented Charlie Kaufman. I'm sure most of you are really familiar with his work. I love his work. He's the director of Being John Malkovich, Adaptation, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. And so I've been following his work, and when I heard that this film has been directed by Charlie Kaufman, I was pretty intrigued. And when I watched the trailer also, I found it very intriguing and interesting. But the only problem with Charlie Kaufman's film is that the movies, if you watch all his body of work, his films are kind of complex, convoluted. And you might get confused or you might get slightly, taken aback when you watch his films. Because if you have followed his previous work, his work is very innovative, very creative. But sometimes when you really struggle to find logic in his movies. If you watch Being John Malkovich, it's a very creative film. The film is filled with creativity. It's a wonderful story. It's a very unique story. But as a viewer, you will struggle to find logic in his movies. But as a movie lover, I do love his work, and I was really intrigued to watch it. So I finally watched it yesterday, and I wonder how to approach it while I review the film, because I was thinking whether to review the film or not. Because reviewing a film like I'm thinking of ending things in a spoiler-free manner, it's quite difficult. Means how do I approach it and give a review, a spoiler-free review? I was wondering how to go about it. So finally, I thought of reviewing the film, and I try my best to make it spoiler-free. So let me give it a try. So I'm Thinking of Ending Things is a good piece of work. It's been adapted from a novel of the same name, and it's been written by Mr. Ian Reid. I have not read the book, though I did some R&D. The ending has been drastically changed by the director in order to, he has taken that cinematic liberty. So I am thinking of ending things. If I have to talk about the story is pretty simple. The story is the story basically, the movie begins introducing us to the main protagonist, one of the main protagonists, called Lucy. She is in relationship with a guy called Jake, only a month relationship. And today she's going to meet his parents, and she's still unsure about the relationship. But she has agreed to go on a long road trip to meet Jake's parents, who stay in a secluded farmhouse. So the movie begins introducing us to Lucy, how she and Jake, they go on a long drive, and what really happens. So the movie is divided into three parts. First, we are basically introducing us to both the characters, and there's a long dialogue sequence while they are on their way to the farmhouse, a 20-25 minutes dialogue sequence where Lucy and Jake, they have a conversation, and Lucy is still experiencing internal conflicts about the relationship, and she wants to end it. She feels that it's not taking it anywhere. The relationship between Jake and her, the relationship is not going anywhere, so she wants to end it. So she is experiencing various internal conflicts. Now the second part is the farm. So they finally reach the farm, and Lucy is introduced to Jake's parents. Now the film actually begins. So when she reaches the farmhouse, a lot of unforeseen, a lot of bizarre situations begin to crop up. Like, I don't want to give out the spoilers. Like, there is a leap in the time zone, and you will get to see various, different time zones in the same house. And the time zone keeps fluctuating. In one frame, you will see the parents look very young. On the other frame, you will see the parents look really old. The characters are very eerie. The atmospherics which have been maintained by the director is quite scary. So actual movie begins when Lucy and Jake, they reach the farmhouse and they meet the parents. That's when the actual movie begins, and a lot of bizarre situations keeps cropping up. And as a viewer, as an audience, I was very confused, frankly speaking. So when I was firstly, the movie looked very simple, but when I was planning to, initially when the movie began, I was quite hooked on to the conversation, though it was pretty long and boring. But later, how as the movie begins to unfold, the story begins to unfold, I become a little confused because the plots, the dialogues seem pretty confusing. And the problem with this movie is that you need to be hooked. You need to be very alert when you watch this movie. Please don't watch this movie when you are lazy. You need to be very alert while watching the movie because every dialogue and every action, might have an effect in the next scene or the ending. You need to be very alert when you watch the movie. You need to hear the dialogue. You need to have a speaker when you watch the movie. Because I was constantly telling my brother, please keep quiet. I need to hear the dialogue because every dialogue has a meaning. And this movie is not for the faint-hearted. So the next sequence after the house, after they meet the parents, Jake and Lucy, they go back home. So that's the third part of the story. Now they're on their way home. Various other bizarre situations pop up. And then it leads to the climax, which is also very bizarre. And during the climax, 50-60% I got to know what the story was all about and why this movie was made. Then I did my I did my R&D, I did few research and all. I read few other, you see these articles, like ending has been explained and all. I did my whatever I could R&D, and I got to know why the movie was made, which I'll not reveal it over here. You guys need to watch it. You guys need to tell me that how did you understand the film? How did you find the film? So basically, frankly speaking, the movie I'm Thinking of Ending Things, the story and the premise is pretty simple. If I have to talk about the premise, it will remind you of Meet the Fockers, Meet the Parents. But this Meet the Parents is kind of darker, kind of convoluted, and I would say it's quite a scary film. It's a psychological thriller, I would call it. And the performances and the highlight, one of the best highlights of the film, Charlie Kaufman. If you watched his previous films, the performance always stands out. And I would like to mention Jesse Plemons, Jesse Buckley have done a great job. They play Jake and Lucy. They have done a great job. By the way, Jessie Buckley plays a young woman, and she's one of the top Irish actresses currently in our time. She's around I think 30 years old, and she's definitely at the top of her game. You need to watch her previous work, and she's amazing in the film. Even Jesse Plemons is pretty good. You might have seen him in previous films like Breaking Bad, and definitely he's growing as an actor. And I should mention Toni Collette and David Thewlis as father and mother. They play the parents of Jake, and they are wonderful. They are a delight to watch. So performances are a big highlight of this film, and it's very natural and yet very scary while these actors perform. And definitely it's very unsettling when you watch this film, and definitely it will keep you at the edge of your seat, because you always very curious to know what's going to happen towards the end and why is this happening. Because I was very unsettled when I was watching this movie. I was wondering, why is this happening? What is the meaning behind it? Why is this happening? You'll have a lot of questions in your mind when you watch this movie. So guys, I recommend this film. You might find it very boring. You might find it very confusing, and I did come across very bad reviews. And some people are criticizing it, and that's how Charlie Kaufman films are. It's, as I told you, it's pretty confusing. You need to watch it again and again to get hold of the real meaning. So I had to watch it at least twice to get hold of the actual meaning, and I did a small R&D, as I told you. So once I got to know the actual meaning behind the film, I somewhat liked it. But initially, as an audience, I was not enjoying this film at all. I found it very boring, very illogical. And I was constantly asking myself, why am I watching this film? Why there's so much, why people are talking about this film? This film has completely nothing. But this movie, the second highlight, I like the visuals. Visuals are superb. The cinematography is superb. It's a very beautiful looking film. Very beautiful looking film. Like if you've seen his previous work, like Eternal's Spotless Mind, that movie with Jim Carrey, also very beautiful film. Even this movie is a very beautiful looking film. So this was the review of I'm Thinking of Ending Things. I'm constantly looking at the title because somewhat I'm eating my words when I'm pronouncing the title. So I am thinking of ending things. This is my review. Do watch it. Share your feedback. If you're a movie lover, please watch this movie. And do share your feedback and let me know if you could somewhat decode the film, decode the meaning. And if you love Charlie Kaufman's work, so definitely you need to watch this film. So guys, I sign off. I'll be back again with the review of Cargo. I will be back with the review of JL50. So guys, I sign off. Please subscribe to my channel, and if you want to know more, and if you always want to be notified about my upcoming reviews. So guys, this is Deep Basu. I sign off. Good day.